I'm back with another video. This week's video is gonna be a little different, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Welcome back. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment, join the crew of my subscribers. Period. I love you guys all. Really been dreading doing this video. It's going to be something, a sensitive topic for me, I guess. Not necessarily sensitive, but it's a topic that nobody really wants to talk about. I feel like we all deal with it. I asked my Instagram followers, you know, if you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you want to be a part of the videos that I do on my channel here. If you want to have some input on that, go ahead and follow me on my social medias. That's Diddy Lauren J. I'll leave it on the screen, and that's the same on all my social medias. Period. And if you missed it, go ahead and check it out in the description box. I'll leave my socials there as well. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and break that barrier, and we're going to talk about it today. I'm going to give you guys some tips, some tricks on how I tend to deal with my seasonal depression. I put air quotes around that because that's what it is. It comes and it goes, has its seasons, it's on and it's off. So seasonal depression. Different things trigger it. It's not like regular depression. I'm not a doctor, y'all, psychiatrist, nothing like that. But it's definitely a difference. It comes and it goes, and we all deal with it. We all have those moments when we're down, we're feeling bad, we don't know what's going on, we don't feel like ourselves, you just feel outside of your body, like you can't quite put your finger on what's wrong with you, but you know you just don't feel right type of thing. Seasonal depression, or like just living in your truth, being yourself, just being okay with going through the motions and not having everything figured out for yourself in life, and you know, being okay with that. So we're going to get a little deep into that today, and I'm just going to tell you guys how I deal with it and which way I deal with it, how my seasonal depression tends to show itself. Please, y'all, bear with me. This is a very nerve-wracking topic for me. I'm going to be very vulnerable and open with you guys about everything I'm just going to put out there on the table. Let's get into real quick what seasonal depression is. And what it stands for. So it really just means, the acronym for seasonal depression is S.A.D, and that just means seasonal affective disorder, and that's pretty much when the same time, around about the same time a year, your mood changes. A certain time of the year, a certain time of the month, or whatever, you get down, and it's always like that. So in my case, it tends to be during the colder months, especially if I'm not, you know, mingling and talking with people or talking to anybody seriously or nothing like that. I'm lonely, you know, I want to pour some energy to somebody else. But, you know, I've also learned that, you know, that energy, that sometimes you don't have to put that energy into somebody else. You can just put it right back into yourself, baby. Period. But we're not there yet. So, you know, I usually have a significant other around the holidays. So this last year has been a little bit different for me, y'all, trying to get acquainted with, you know, being single or being, you know, not with anybody for real. So I'm learning how to deal with that, and that, you know, tends to be a trigger for me, the fact that, you know, I no longer have that person that I used to always have to go to and run to, you know, when I'm having a problem or issue. That's my trigger for me. But it's different for everybody, you know. From the cooler months into the colder months, it's like usually a lot of people's seasonal depression kicks in, because, you know, that's when you're supposed to be around the people you love most. Cooler climates somehow equate to, you know, your feelings, you being sad, being lonely, feeling lonely, you know, your depression, or whatever you battle with. If that makes sense, I hope anybody can relate, because I know when it's cold or raining outside and I'm already in a bad mood, it just puts me in a worse mood kind of thing. So the same thing applies for seasonal depression. Like, being in the cooler area, it just does something to the body, to the mind, spirit, I guess, you know. I'm not a doctor though, guys, so I'm just personal experience here. It just plays a part in people's mental pretty much, and seasonal depression becomes a thing, and that's when you just feel upset and sad and moody, can't really put your finger on what's making you feel funny, but you feel funny, you don't feel like yourself. Seasonal depression, everybody deals with it, we all deal with it differently. Some of us, you know, you don't want to hang out with your friends as much. Some of us, you know, you want to be by yourself. Some of us, you just start acting out of character, doing things that you usually would not do, or like staying in the bed longer, you know, not getting out of bed at all. Some days you just don't feel like it. We all have those days. So okay, that's enough about talking about what it is. I want to talk about how seasonal depression kind of affects me. I have days where I just don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't want to move. I don't want to do nothing. But then, you know, for me, I had to break it down into something simple. You got 24 hours in a day. You want to use the most of your days by using my days wisely, you know, usefully. Especially with me working the midday shift, I would not get out the bed until 12:30. I had to be to work at 1 o'clock. I don't get off work until 9 o'clock. By the time I get off work, I'm definitely not about to do nothing. I'm getting back in the bed. So I found myself in a vicious cycle of literally getting up at 12 o'clock, rolling out of my bed, going to work from home. Y'all know I work from home. And then doing my 8-hour shift, getting off, don't feel like doing nothing, stop going to the gym, I lost my whole motivation, like all of it. So I found myself, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel like myself, I just feel ugh. And then also found, for me, my environment plays a part in that as well. So you also want to be mindful of your environment. And my room was a mess. My room was always a mess. Like, I found myself having to stumble over stuff just to get in my bed. Like, that plays a part in it as well. Like, you don't want to get up, or for me anyway, I didn't want to get up. I knew my room was a mess. I was gonna have to, you know, if I even wanted to get dressed for that day, I knew I would have to scramble through stuff to look for something to wear and then to put on some makeup. I didn't feel like doing that. Like, I didn't feel like going through the hassle that it had to take to do simple everyday things. And that's because I became accustomed to being so lazy and not wanting to get out of the bed. And I don't want to say lazy for lack of a better word. I'm going to use lazy because it's not the word at all. I couldn't get out of bed. And I just got tired of feeling like that. You want to find out what your triggers are first. Figure out what it is that's making you feel this way. Why are you acting this way? Get to know yourself on a better level. Get to be true to yourself. Figure out what it is that's causing you this pain, this problem, this issue is making you not want to get out of the bed. You need to dig deep, find that in yourself, and figure out what it is. And for me, quite frankly, I was quote unquote lonely. I got so used to having a person, and then it really hit me hard. Like, yo, this dude's not coming back around for you. Like, y'all not gonna work out issues out. And it was to the point, like, he was my person. He was the person I told everything to. He was the person I confided in. Not my family, not my sisters, not my friends. Well, yeah, them too, but literally him. He knew everything. I told him everything. And now it's to the point where I don't even have this person no more, you know? So that's what caused my seasonal depression. Me realizing that, you know, this person that I was so hung up on and, like, I dealt with everything with, I can no longer have that person. I had to deal with everything on my own and by myself type of thing. So overthinking everything, especially, y'all know me, Libra gang, 1017, baby, never forget it. A big thing for us Libras, we like to internalize everything, make it seem like it's our fault, try to figure out ways to how we can fix something. Sometimes the situation is what it is, it's dead. You know, you gotta just let it be. But the Libra in me won't let that. Sometimes you can't fix what's not broken or what don't want to be fixed, you feel me? Or if it's not your, you know, not your place to be fixing. So I had to teach myself that. So my biggest trigger for my seasonal depression is learning to pretty much love myself and be okay with being alone, being okay with not having another person to run to and to share my thoughts with, but to actually be with myself and to understand my thoughts and to be alone with my thoughts was very triggering for me, very, not traumatic, but traumatic in a sense, because I had to learn to love myself for what it was, what I had to offer for myself, and if I did not like it, I had to find a way to make it better. So it got to the point where I'm like, girl, you need to get up, you need to clean your nasty ass room, like, you need to fold some clothes, you need to wash some clothes, you need to put some clothes on today. Like, how about that? Brush your teeth today. Can we do that? Can we wash your face? Like, don't bid me, y'all. I'm telling you. I was so just out of it, like not feeling like myself. What helped me, y'all, it works for different people, different strokes for different folks, but what helps me is, y'all, I have a gratitude journal. I have an adult coloring book. I try to keep a loosely planned schedule, like a loose schedule about, you know, when I'm going to clean my room and wash clothes, and so just that I don't get so overwhelmed with my day-to-day tasks. For me, like, scheduling is a thing. So breaking your days down into smaller duties or smaller things kind of helped me as well deal with my depression, so that I didn't seem so overwhelmed with day-to-day tasks. Even though it's simple stuff, sometimes it just seems so overwhelming. So the biggest number one thing is, when dealing with seasonal depression and learning to live your own truth, pretty much, is being okay with who you are, what you have to offer, and then knowing that if you don't like what you have to offer, then knowing that you need to put in the work to become a better you, to become the person that you want to be, or you know what I'm saying, versus, you know, sitting around waiting for it to happen, or just putting it into the air. Yeah, affirmations and speaking it into existence is a thing, but it also don't come with nothing, you know what I'm saying? You can't get something without putting in anything, or, you know, putting in nothing. Okay with being by yourself, like that was the hardest thing for me, because like I always wanted to put that energy into somebody else, like ask them how their day was, you know, what's going on, and then like I wasn't getting that reciprocated back to me. No one cared about my general well-being, and I'm just like, oh, how I just asked you about your day and I like, you know, cared about you, and you're not reciprocating that energy. You don't care to know about how my day was. Like, stop expecting stuff from other people. You want somebody to ask you about your day? Ask yourself about your day. What did you like about your day? And then, you know, that's where my gratitude journal comes in. That's where I will write about things that I'm thankful for. Things that, you know, made me happy today. Things that made me upset today. How did I deal with it? You write it down in your journal. And it just, sometimes you don't realize how you're acting or what you're doing. You don't see it until, you know, I'm writing down day to day what upset me, what made me mad, what made me happy, what got me in my feelings, things like that. And then once you see it on paper, you're like, you're looking at yourself, you see yourself on paper, it looks a little different. Like, you're seeing like, wow, on who I really threw a fit because XYZ didn't text me back. And then you're starting to see your actions for what they are. It literally helps, because you get to chart your feelings to see like what's going on, why your emotions all over the place. You can see what's draining you, what's pulling a lot from you, what's like basically tearing yourself apart in a sense, kind of. I think for me, in my season of depression, is like I feel like I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to overwhelm anyone else with my problems, with my issues, because we all got our own things going on, type of thing. But sometimes you gotta find those people that you can confide in. Like, yeah, also I said, you know, you want to learn how to be by yourself and be alone, but you also want to find people that you can relate with, people who understand what you're going through, people who not going to judge you, who are going to be there for you and want to help you through your journey and your process of learning to love yourself and to be okay with who you are. You know what I'm saying? To talk to somebody, and you find that person that you can talk to, y'all can find each other. That right there is half the battle, I'm telling you, so that you just don't feel so alone, like you're going through it by yourself, because everybody is dealing with this in some way or some form. The world ain't perfect. Everybody ain't out here smiling. Everybody's not out here happy, smiley, go lucky. We all dealing with our own shit, you feel me? We all dealing with our own shit. You just gotta find your people who gonna ride for you, who gonna make sure that you good, while also making sure that you're not only dependent on them to make sure you're good and that you have good days. Knowing that you can know how to make your own self happy. Know what makes you smile. Know what gives you joy in life. You need to figure out those things first before trying to put joy in your life by, you know, bonding with another human being or being with another person. You need to make yourself happy, be okay with what you got yourself in, like be okay with yourself and what you have to offer and everything and more before you go and try to build with somebody else or be friends with this person and do this with that person. You want to be okay with you before you go messing with anybody else's energy, anybody's auras. Make sure yours is in check first, okay? Because that's how we just become toxic. I'm telling you. You heard it here first. No toxic behavior is allowed in 2021. We're dealing with all our toxic behaviors. But a big thing for me as well in my season of depression and stuff is learning how to let shit go. Literally just letting go, letting it be known that you're in the universe that this is out of my control. Lauren Lowe cannot do anything about this. It is out of my hands. It is into this world, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I can't do nothing about it. It's time to let it go. You can't hold and harbor onto that feeling of anger or sadness or whatever that problem or issue is bringing to you. Let it go. Don't harbor that shit. Just let it go. Okay, I'm telling you. Coming from a person who literally cannot let anything go, I'm telling you, holding you back, you need to go ahead and do a long thing. Have a talk with yourself and think, you know, what do you want from life? What is it that you want to be? How can you get there? And then you just start small, little steps, step by step. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you fall back into that slump, that depression, that feeling, and you just feel icky inside and you don't know how to get rid of that feeling. You need to show some grit. You need to hold on. You need to show some faith. Find something to believe in. and keep pushing forward. Like, we all have bad days, and you just gotta remind yourself that this won't last forever. You feel me? To put that energy into something else. Like, for me, I was lonely and upset with myself because of how a past situation ended with somebody that I really cared about, and it just ate me up on the inside, and I just could not forgive myself. And then I finally did, and it's like, oh my gosh, why are we not how we used to be? I was just stuck on the past. Like, this is what we had, this is who we supposed to be, this is what we said we was going to be, and now here we are, and it's not like that. And I couldn't wrap my mind around it, like why I'm not okay. Like, we not supposed to be like this. We not supposed to be here. We supposed to be like this. I had this picture in my head for us, how we supposed to be, and you know, because it's not like that. I'm not myself. I don't feel like myself. I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I had to get myself out of that thinking, you know, 4 years ago I had this plan for myself. This is where me and X and Y Z was supposed to be. We were supposed to be doing this, we're supposed to be doing that. This is the picture that I imagined for myself, and I dreamed for myself, and I don't have that, and I don't know how to deal with that. I can't comprehend that we won't ever be like that, and then it just got me stuck, and I just didn't want to do nothing because it wasn't with that person. In a sense, it's kind of how it went for me. Sad to say, but true. Like, I just got so stuck on the idea of me and this person being together forever and building together and growing together, and I forgot how to do that by myself. So that's my story, for real, in a nutshell. I forgot how to be me. I forgot what I wanted for myself because I was so busy on us thinking on like what me and that person was supposed to be like. I lost sight of what I wanted for myself, not for me and him and our relationship. You feel me? So when our relationship went out the window, my drive, motivation, pushing it for everything else kind of fell off too. So it took me a while to find, you know, first I had to find, you know, like, I kept telling myself, you know, I'm okay, I'm cool. I wasn't really trying to address my trauma or address my situation that I had. So you want to very first and foremost, address what your issues are. Come to terms with what you got going on with yourself and why you're feeling like this. What's making you feel down? What's making you feel like outside of your body, like you don't feel like yourself, like you can't be true to who you are. Like, what helped me is finding somewhere to put that misplaced energy. And it's getting warm now, so now it's getting warm. I'm finding more stuff to do, to spend time with myself, to make myself happy and not find that happiness in anybody else. I feel like that's the worst thing right now, what our generation has going for itself, is that we all want to look for happiness in another person. You need to bring happiness to yourself first before you can go out and look for happiness in somebody else, because that's just misery right there. You looking for somebody else to make you happy, because when they don't do it, now you sad. You feel me? Now you mad at them, but that's not their role in your life. Should not be to bring you joy and bring you peace and bring you happiness. You need to do that for yourself, okay? Take it from someone. It takes one to know what I'm telling you, y'all. I literally was putting all of my energy and time and everything into a person who can reciprocate that same thing back. So then in turn made me feel like just you know? Neither here nor there. I don't want to set anybody up. I want greatness for everybody around me, but I just know for me, my journey personally, it started with me learning to love myself, learning to know what my triggers were, what was making me feel depressed or sad or like outside of my body, and learning that, you know, when I feel that way, how to get out of that. And that really literally just took me learning how to spend time with myself and being okay with being myself. But I mean, being with myself, not having to have somebody go with me to do this, do that, but learning like, girl, let's go. Myself, girl, let's go treat ourselves to get our toes done. Let's go get our nails done. Let's go get our hair done. Ooh, sis, let's go to the gym. Ooh, sis, it's warm outside. Let's go rollerblading, y'all. I'm telling you, I just find different ways to spend time with myself. All these paintings in my room. Let's go sit in the park and paint somewhere. I'm telling you, you just find time to make yourself happy. It starts within yourself. I'm telling you, once you get your environment around you cleaned out, get the negativity gone, get you a nice clean space. Like, it starts with, I'm telling you, it starts with around you. If your room is messy and you gotta climb over a pile of shit to get in your bed at night and to get out of your bed at night, you're not gonna have that same energy and joy about you and vibe about you. I don't know. It's definitely a difference in when your area is clean around you, when the vibes are clean around you, when you have people around you who genuinely care for you as a person and what you have going for yourself. You don't want to just keep putting and emptying yourself into these people who don't care about you. That's going to be feeling draining as well. Like, that feels draining. It feels like you're tired, like you're being used, because you are. Know when it is to be used, and know when it is when a person genuinely cares about you and when they want something best, when they want the best for you. You feel me? I don't know. I hope this was helpful. I hope I tapped on everything. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I think I talked about everything. I hope I talked about everything. I'm not gonna lie to y'all and tell y'all this journey to being true to yourself and loving yourself for who you are and what you have to offer is easy. It's definitely a learning process, and it don't help that this generation that we live in, everybody feel like, you know, they either have to do it by themselves or alone, or that they're the only people who feel this way. And it's not the case at all. A lot of us, for one person, may not work for the other one. And I hope that, you know, you do take these tips that I gave you guys with a grain of salt. Don't go out and follow me, you know, step by step. But these are some tips to help you deal with your anxiety, your depression, or your ill feeling that you have sometimes, because we all have it. But this is just how I learned to deal with mine. Whatever triggers you into your season of depression, where you feel just moody and iffy about the whole world and you feel just down or whatever, you don't feel like yourself, that's a part of all of us. We all get that. But the key thing is learning how to feel that emotion and not let it get taken over you, not let it beat you. You win. Putting that energy that it's taking for you to feel sad and depressed or out of your body, taking that feeling and turning it into something good and putting it back into the universe, saying, you know, I took that on the nose and I'm gonna keep it pushing, because that's what it's all about. We all get knocked down. Some of us get knocked down a little bit harder, but you know, you just gotta get right back up regardless of what your situation is. Like, be vulnerable with yourself that's the very first thing. Learning how to be vulnerable with yourself, letting yourself know that, you know, you're not okay. These feelings that you're feeling, you don't want to feel them anymore. You want to learn how to deal with your emotions. You want to learn how to deal with this depression feeling that you're feeling or whatever. That's the hard part. So if you can sit here and you're watching this video, you've done the hard part already. Realizing and acknowledging that you don't want to be feeling how you feel or whatever. I got too much. I hope my tips were helpful. I really do. Please leave a comment if they were helpful, if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more talks like this, where we get down to the nitty and gritty, the real. So thank you guys for tuning in, coming in this week, sitting down and joining the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell button so that you know when I post videos. Stay up to date. Period. Leave a comment, leave a comment, leave a comment, leave a comment, because that's what keeps your girl going. So keep going, period. And we'll be back next week with another video.